Patty, the chain-smoking haggler. Jiminy Christmas, Patty. I'll never forget her. Patty's the type of person that changes your outlook on life. Patty makes you want to be a better person. That's just the type of horrible person she is. I'll never forget her. I'll never forget her. So Patty, I got a job for her probably 2 or 3 years ago now, and I remember she called in at the end of the day, and basically what they did is they put her on the end of my route. So I had my schedule for the day. She calls in, books an appointment. They put it on the end of my schedule. Okay, so when I get the job for Patty, it pops up on my phone. I see her name, and then you can see like all her information with her address and what she's getting done and whatnot. So it pops up. I look at it, see her name, all right, Patty, and I see where it's at. And it's in the heart of the ghetto on the east side. Now, I'm from the east side, so I've seen a lot of weird shit in my day, growing up, going to high school over there. So there's not a whole lot that's going to surprise me nowadays. But when you see a job that's in the ghetto and you know where it's at exactly, you never know what to expect. You never know what to expect anywhere, really, anyways. But there's just something about the ghetto and certain places where people just get really weird on you. So I'll preface it by saying not everybody in the ghetto or bad areas is weird. I've met some of the nicest people ever doing jobs for them over there. But I would say 75% of the time, you're going to be walking into a funny situation. And that's exactly what Patty was. So get the job. It's in the ghetto. As soon as I pull up, there's nowhere to park. There's 147 cars on the street. It's just Main Street parking. 3,000 cars on the street. I have nowhere to park, so I'm trying to parallel park this big ass van on the street. So I finally, get a place to park, and I pull up, and it's like the dead heat of summer. It's like June or July. It's super hot outside. I remember just sweating the entire time, the entire day. So I walk up, and all I see is like this little front yard that kind of connects around their house, and it's got like a million different flamingos and bird sculptures and like fountains and just all kinds of stuff. It looked like a big ass jungle. And I see this guy cutting the grass. So I'm assuming he's one of the homeowners or her husband or something. So I walk up through this little gate. That's how you had to get in there. And he sees me. I see him see me. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't stop cutting the grass. He just keeps on cutting the grass. So I'm thinking, okay, it's kind of rude, but that's okay. I'll just wait for you to come back and do your lap around the house. So I wait for him to come back around, and I'm waving him down. I'm like, hey. So I walk over to him because he's still not stopping. So I walk over to him. He cuts the lawnmower off, and he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, well, my name is Eric. I'm here to do some carpet cleaning for you guys, apparently. He's like, well, I don't know anything about that. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. So I'm asking him politely. I'm like, oh, is this, the right address? And he's like, yeah, that's our address, but I didn't book any appointment. And I'm like, well, is your wife Patty? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, it looks like Patty might have booked an appointment. He's like, no, that's impossible. It's on my phone, sir. Okay, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I'm not making this up. I didn't just randomly put your wife's information on my phone, come over here to tell you that she booked an appointment and lie to you. Obviously, it's the truth. So he's like, all right, well, just go ahead and go inside, and I'll be in a minute. I'll be done in a few minutes. And I'm like, no, that's okay. I can wait for you. I'm not walking in your house unannounced. What if Patty's in the back naked? What if she's getting out of the shower? I don't know. I don't know what I'm about to walk into on the east side in the ghetto. You want me to just walk into your house? Absolutely not. That's how people get shot and killed. I'm not trying to be on the unsolved mysteries today, sir. So I said to him that I can wait for him. He's like, no, it's okay. Just go ahead and go in. I'm like, okay, you're sure it's okay to just walk in the house? Like no big dogs or anything like that are going to kill me? No, that's okay. Okay, just remember you said that. So I remember knocking first, and nobody came to the door because I wasn't just going to walk in. So I knocked first just to be nice, even though he told me I can go in. When I didn't hear anybody coming or see anybody coming, I opened the door, and when you walk in, you know how you wake up in the morning, you start driving to work, and it's just real foggy outside, and it's hard to see. The visibility's down, and it's hard to see like 20 feet in front of you. Yeah, picture that. That's how this house was with cigarette smoke. So I walk in, and just the cigarette smoke is just, so it's real sunny outside, right? So they have light beaming in their house, just all through the house. So you could see the smoke just floating in the air. So as soon as I walk in, it just hits me. And instantly I think I have emphysema, secondhand smoke. I'm dying of cancer immediately. Like, this is just so strong and potent. And for somebody who's not a smoker, and you walk into an environment like that, it's it's pretty disgusting, right? So, which nowadays it's rare for people to be smoking in their house. Every once in a while you'll find some older couples still doing it that I've noticed, but for the most part people still go outside or going outside still. Yeah, they definitely smoked in their house. So that's what I walked into. And another thing I noticed is that it was extremely hot in there. It was like 86 degrees in their house. It had to be. It was like 90 outside. And I don't know what it is, about, and I don't want to stereotype here. I don't know what it is about older people. Seems like the AC is not something that they know about, because every time you walk into their house, it is extremely humid and hot. So next time you have people over to your house and you're wondering, oh man, is it hot in here? Yes, it's hot in there. Turn the air down for people that are coming over to your house. It's too damn hot, okay? So I walk in, I have the cloud of cigarette smoke that's just hitting me in the face. It's extremely hot, so I know this smoke's just sticking to me, sticking to my shirt. I'm gonna smell like a damn ashtray the rest of the day. So that's what I walk into. So I'm standing in the entryway and I say, "Excuse me, ma'am?" And I yell that. And I hear from around the corner, "Hello?" I'm like, oh, Jesus, that must be Patty. So I start walking through the cloud of cigarette smoke, and it's like trying to find your way through a damn maze at a haunted house. You have no idea where you're going because you can't see. And these people, I don't want to call them full-fledged hoarders, but they were semi-hoarders, if you want to say that. They had stuff everywhere. So it's like you're walking through the house and you're trying to, inch by like this, try not to knock stuff off the table and whatnot. And I'm like, "Excuse me, ma'am," again, because I don't know where she's at. I just hear her voice. She's like, "Hello." So I turn to the left and I meet Patty. Okay. Patty is sitting in this big ass recliner in a room that has probably this much space where stuff isn't on the floor, just piled up everywhere. So Patty, she's an elderly lady, maybe not elderly, I would say maybe 60, 65, something like that. She's sitting in a big recliner with her feet up on the ottoman, and all she's wearing is this purple robe and these purple slippers, these big fuzzy slippers. I'll never forget it. It's all she's wearing, okay? Luckily it was closed, but Patty's hair, looks like she just got electrocuted, so that was interesting. So electrocution hair, purple robe, purple slippers. She's sitting on there with her legs crossed. 47 Diet Coke cans to the left of her. Just, apparently they've never been picked up ever. So I'm like, "Hey, how are you? I'm Eric with such and such." She's like, "Before you say anything, I just want to let you know that my husband doesn't know about this. He doesn't know that I made this appointment." So that's what she told me. So now it's all making sense to me on why this guy had no idea that we were coming out, to his house. Because Patty is trying to book an appointment and spend money behind his back, apparently. Damn it, Patty. You put me into an awkward situation now. So she tells me that up front. And the first thing she asked me is, "How much is all this going to cost?" And I'm like, "Well, Patty, what are we doing for you?" So she goes, "Well, we're going to do this room, and this room." She's like, "How much would that be?" I'm like, "Well, did they go over this with you over the phone? Did they tell you the pricing?" She's like, "Yeah." "Okay, what did they tell you over the phone? Because that's probably the same thing as what I'm going to tell you, Patty." She's like, "Well, they told me this amount, but I didn't really agree with it. They said that you have a minimum charge to come out to my house and clean, but I wanted to see what you could do." And I'm like, "Well, they were right. We have a minimum to come out to your house and do a service for you, and there's nothing I can do about that. I can't change that. She's like, well, I don't want to pay that much. And I'm like, okay, well, not sure what to tell you, because that's kind of the policy of the company. It's not like my policy. So she's like, well, I only got these couple of rooms over here, and there's not a lot of space on the floor. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, obviously, because there's shit everywhere piled up. There's boxes and everything all over these rooms. So she's telling me that she doesn't want to pay this, and all of a sudden she's like, oh, hold on real quick. And all of a sudden her husband walks inside. Now her husband has this, it's obvious. You know how you look at Donald Trump and you could tell he's got a toupee on his head? Her husband's got an obvious gray toupee on his head. It's plain as day. There's no way you can tell that it's not. And so he walks inside, Mr. Toupee. Okay, that's what I'm going to call him. Mr. Toupee walks inside. He, now mind you, he doesn't know that Patty made this appointment, okay? Apparently she wants to keep it some big secret. So he walks inside and he's like, Patty, what's going on? Okay, so he has no idea what I'm here for. She didn't tell him anything. She made this appointment this day, the same day, while he was outside cutting the grass. What did she expect to happen? Obviously, I'm going to show up today because they told her I'd be there today within a few hours or whatever. So she had to have come up with a story to tell him. I'm going to show up, Patty. What are you talking about? So Mr. Toupee comes inside and says, Patty, what's going on? She's like, oh, well, I was just trying to get some pricing for this and this and, see how much everything would be. So he just came out to take a look at everything. And I'm like, Patty, you bold-faced liar. You just lied to Mr. Toupee saying that I came out to give you pricing when you know damn well you scheduled an appointment to get this done, okay? And if I came out here for you to just lie and all this, I'm going to be pissed because I'm just wasting my time at this point. It was like a 45-minute drive to her house in rush hour, and I show up to this, and if I'm not going to do the job, I'm going to be pissed, Patty. So, the funniest thing was that Patty was a big chain smoker. So the whole time I'm talking to her, she's just puffing away, okay? Obviously, the house is filled with cigarette smoke. She's puffing away. I'm trying not to, die while I'm talking to her. I got to take just short little breaths, short intermediate breaths. You can't breathe normally in her house. You can't. No, it's trying to get as much breath as you can before fill your lungs with cigarette smoke. So, he's like, all right, well, how much will everything be? And she's like, well, he wants to charge this much. She keeps saying he wants to charge this much, as if I just made up the pricing to her and it's not the company pricing. But we're not going to pay that much. He's like, all right. And he just goes back outside. So he goes back outside, Mr. Toupee does, with his hair flapping around. And she's like, all right, well, can you do any better on the price? I'm like, ma'am, I can't. This is the minimum price for our company. It's not like my pricing. There's nothing I can do, okay? In the middle of me talking to her, she gets a phone call. Patty, the chain-smoking haggler, gets a phone call. So something that really, really irritates me and probably irritates everybody else as well is when you get a phone call and you're talking to somebody, if this isn't what you do, you're a horrible person. Hello? Oh, hi, yeah, I'm talking to so-and-so right now. Let me call you right back. That's how it should be, right? That's how a normal, sane human being would, polite human being would interact with somebody over the phone. If they're talking to somebody, not Patty. She obviously wasn't raised the right way. This is what Patty did. Hello? Oh, hi, Deborah. Yeah. No, the doctor said, and she just goes on this rant talking about her doctor's appointment to her friend, whoever the hell she's talking to. I just made up the name Deborah just to go with it. So she starts talking, and I'm just like, what the hell? Because at this point, I don't know why I'm here at this house. She's lying to Mr. Toupee about why I'm here. She's not wanting to pay this price, so I can't start on anything. So I'm just at a standstill, standing here in the cigarette-infested house, a cigarette-infested, hoarding, hot house, halfway dead because it's so hot in here. So I get down, I'm squatting down on the ground like this, and I'm literally just staring at her because I just feel like this is so rude right now. To just pick up the phone, you haven't given me any direction on what you want to do, if you're even going to do the job or not, and you just leave me standing here while you're having a conversation. So I just squat down right in front of her and I start staring at her. until she gets off the phone. But don't worry, she had plenty of time to talk. All of a sudden, in the background, now, mind you, Mr. Toupee went back outside to finish the grass. All of a sudden, in the background, I hear this grunting and groaning sound. And it's just, I couldn't tell really what it was. With this hoarder house, who knows if there's a dead raccoon trying to get untrapped from, a box, or some animal dying in the attic. I don't know what's going on. So all of a sudden I hear this grunting and groaning, and then it hits me. I get this waft of smell that's not cigarette smoke, just this waft of shit smell all of a sudden. Oh, don't worry. It was just her grandson taking a shit in the hallway bathroom with the door open. Patty, I'm going to need you to get off the phone because I'm going to lose it in a second, okay? I can't take the cigarette smoke, the heat-infested shit smell that I'm getting right now. I'm about to puke on your floor right now, and then we're really going to have to clean it for you. So it's just mind-blowing to me that you're shitting in the house with, a stranger in your house with the door open. And it'd be one thing if it was a little kid, maybe just starting to get potty trained, 3 or 4 years old, or even a 6 or 7 year old. No. He was probably 15 or 16. So obviously he grew up this way with just shitting with the door open. So, Jesus. So Patty finally gets off the phone, and the first thing she asked me is, so what did you decide? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? She's like, did you decide to lower the price? And I'm like, ma'am, again, I told you I can't do that. So she's going back and forth with me, asking if I could do it for this amount. And I'm like, no. Well, can you do it for this amount? Again, no, Patty, I can't. I'm almost dead over here. I want to leave if you're not going to do this job. So I would say after 20 to 30 minutes of literally sitting there talking to Patty, as I'm slowly dying a horrible death with all this cigarette smoke and shit smell and just the Sahara Desert of heat in this house. I mean, it is just absolutely awful. 20 to 30 minutes go by, and she's still trying to haggle me on the price. And I'm like, Patty, there's nothing I can do, ma'am. If, at this point, it was like almost 6 o'clock at night. If we're not going to do this, I'm leaving. Sorry, but we can't just sit here all night and haggle back and forth on the price. You knew what the price was. You wanted me to come out to see if I could lower it. I can't. I'm trying to tell you that, and you're not taking it. So I don't know what to tell you. So eventually gets to a point to where I tell her that, I'm going to have to go, because if you're not going to agree to pay to the price, I can't do anything for you. So we get to that point, and she's just not really accepting the fact that I'm going to be leaving her house. So she just starts talking about all these medical issues that she has as if I care, and just starts telling me, the doctor said this to her and the doctor said that to her. And I'm like, why are you telling me this right now? Like, I just wasted all this time, 45 minutes to get here. I wasted a good 45 minutes in your house. I'm going to have to go to the hospital after I leave your house because I don't know what's in my system now. So it was just a big waste of time. I would say an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes of just wasted dead time. And, I finally told her that I have to leave. So I get to go, and she's still talking, and I'm just walking away because she's just not stopping talking. She's one of those people that she's half crazy. Like, she's not stopping talking to me at all, and I'm not answering her. I'm just, okay, well. And then I kept trying to leave. I kept trying to inch my way out the door, like, all right, well, have a good night. And I kept, like, walking further, and she kept talking. Like, I kept moving further and further. And she just kept going. So eventually I had to just turn and walk away. I kept telling her, have a good night, and she just kept going with her stories from the doctor. Damn it, Patty, I got to go home eventually tonight. So the funniest thing about the whole job is by the time that I get to leave, I'm walking, and I turn and walk around all these boxes that are in the house because, there's nowhere to walk in this hoarder house. So all of a sudden, Mr. Toupee comes inside. And mind you, he had the gray toupee on his house, and he was outside cutting the grass. And it was probably pretty windy outside, I would say, that day. So he comes inside, and his damn toupee is halfway off of his head. It's like half bald on this side, half toupee hanging off on this side. And he just comes in, opens the door as I'm about to walk out, and he's just looking at me like this. And I'm like, oh my God, do I say anything? I definitely don't say anything. That's rude. You definitely don't say anything. But then I started to think, if somebody has something in their teeth, you better tell me if I have something in my teeth. Like, I'm going to tell you if you have something in your teeth. So that's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, should I tell Mr. Toupee that his toupee's halfway off his head and he looks ridiculous right now? It's probably not rude because we're not in public. I'm not saying this in front of a bunch of people to him. So I'm thinking this through my head. And at the same time, I'm like, man, just get out of my way so I can leave your house. Like, I just wasted all this time. And he's like, well, Patty, what'd we decide? And she starts talking again to me. I thought I was in the clear to leave her house. And she's like, well, you can't do it for this price and blah, 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 blah. And I don't know how Mr. Toupee didn't feel the damn... the air hitting his head here. You have to feel that wind just hitting your bald spot while your toupee's on this side. Like, you don't recognize that this side of your head's cold and this side's warm as hell. I don't understand. I mean, I don't have a toupee, so I don't know. Maybe one day when I'm older and I got a toupee, I'll understand. But that was the funniest part of Patty, the chain-smoking haggler's house, was Mr. Toupee coming in with his toupee halfway off his head, hanging, just standing there staring at me, and he had no idea. No idea. So, she wasn't really a horrible person, but just goes to show you never know who you're going to meet on a daily basis, and they can turn out to be very, very interesting. And they kept the days very, very entertaining, that's for sure. So, that is Patty, the chain-smoking haggler.